Hello everyone, Carolyn here. Welcome to today's tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to make my own original design, the Peafowl bracelet. And today you will need 3 looms set up in the standard configuration and attached together. So from the center you're going to go up at an angle, across, down at an angle, and then back up at an angle. You need a minimum of 6 different color bands, but the band placement or color possibilities is really endless with this bracelet, so I would love to see your different renditions, but today I'm simply going to be using 6 colors. I'm going to go ahead and put this one to the side and I'll be showing you the bands on this one. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. And working with from your center pin bar, I'm just going to go ahead and drop 2 on there just so it makes it easier when I go to close. So you want to work your way across the loom, going up at an angle, and then across, and then down, and then back up, and then up the sides. And today I am doing a little bit something different from my other tutorials. I'm making another full loom bracelet just because I love this design so very much. Okay, and then same thing on your right side. Out to the right, across, down to the right, and then up to the right. Alright guys, and if you're making a full wrap bracelet, you want to go all the way up to the end, except on the second to last peg. Let me see if I can lift it up and pull it down some. You want to stop right here. Okay, so I'm going to get all the way up there and then I'll be right back to show you how to close it up, and then we'll get started placing the rest of our bands. Be right back. Alright everybody, I've made it to the end of the loom, and so what you want to do is go in at an angle, up at an angle, across, da-da-da, come here Bond, across, and then down at an angle. And I'm sorry if today's tutorial is a little awkward. I am not used to filming with the 2 full loom links, so just bear with me. Alright, and then going across, or up at an angle, excuse me, then across, and then down at an angle. Okay. So that's how you close it up. And now we're going to be placing our X's. That was the perimeter going up the sides. Now we're placing that. And I do like using the same color, but you can, like I said, you can use as many as you want. Working with the 3rd and the 4th pin bar, just creating X's all the way to the end. I'll do a couple with you on each side, and then I'm going to go off, finish that up, and then I'll be right back. So again, starting with your left, going up at an angle, then crossing over with that right. And now with the 6th and 7th pin bar, you want to do the same thing, but mirror image, so you're going to go from the 7th up at an angle, or from the 6th down to the 7th, however you lay. And then just cross that up and continue that all the way up the loom. And I'll just finish up a few with you here. I'm going to go off and finish that up. Doo-doo-doo. Alright guys, just finish that up, the rest of the loom, and I'll be right back as soon as I'm caught up. Alright everybody, I'm back, and hopefully your loom looks like this all the way to the end of your loom. And now we're ready for our next step, which in this bracelet are the pink and the white bands on the sides and up the middle and on that side. Okay, so what you want to do Now on this one, I used two different colors, and I'll be repeating that. And the reason I use two different colors is in peafowls, of course, their feathers, which is the pink in this one. How shall I put it? Overlap the design, I guess is the best way I can describe it. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Excuse me. So starting on your center pin bar, you want to count up 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you want to go across at an angle, and then down at an angle. And here's where I'm going to switch colors. You take your next color, go up at an angle, and up at an angle. Then from that peg, count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you want to lay your next feather color or border color, whatever you're doing in your bracelet. And then you're going to take your next color and finish that X off. Okay, and you want to continue doing that up this side, and you want to do the mirror image on this side. So what you want to do is go up 5, counting from that first peg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then lay your diagonal band and your diagonal band, and then go back and add your next 2 diagonal bands, creating that X. Again, counting that first pin as your first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up at an angle, down at an angle, and then go back with your next color and close that X off. Get on there. Okay, so you want to do that up both sides. You want to repeat the same type process in the center, but you're only going up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then create your bottom half of your X, and then go back and create the top half of your X. Because peafowls, all of their eye designs, I guess is the best way to describe their pattern, aren't even. So that's how we're going to do this. And then starting with that peg, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to lay the bottom part of our X bands. Get our next color and lay the top part. So with that peg, go up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Create your bottom half of your X, and then the top half. Alright, so I'm going to go off and finish that up all the way up. So again, on your left hand side, you're going every 5, making sure to count that first pin every time. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then up the middle is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I'm going to go off, finish that up, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so hopefully your loom looks like this all the way to the end of the loom. Now please keep in mind when you get to the, oops, sorry, camera bounce. Alright, when you get to the end, you want to make sure that your perimeter is the closing. So in other words, from your last band placement, you have exactly 5 to the end. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the middle, you have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the right side, you have 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have an opening, you need to adjust it so it looks like this, or else it will not hold. Alright guys, so now we're ready for our next step. And I'm sorry about the awkward camera-ness. Again, I'm not used to filming with full length 2 looms. Okay, so our next band placement step is going to be the white and the purple that you see right there. Alright, and for the white, I am going to be using the Sweets Fairy Pink. And then for the purple, I'm going to be using Sweets Purple. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Starting on your second pin bar, you want to go up on a long stretch to the first pin bar. And then from that second pin bar, long stretch up to the third. And we're going to be working up the loom in sections. So, alright, let me get my next color. I didn't have that ready. Alright, so we're going to be working on, again, from the second pin bar. You want to work down to the left, straight down or up, however you're placing your bands. And then from the third pin bar up to the second pin bar. Okay, then going back to our first color, from that second pin bar, second peg, up to the first pin bar. Long stretch to the left. Then a long stretch to the right. And then repeat that same process with your next color, the purples, going at a diagonal, up, and then another diagonal. Okay, and that's it for this one on this, for just this second. Now we're going to start this one because it is different because it's smaller. Well, it's not that different, but all right, starting with your fifth pin bar, you want to work a long stretch up to your fourth, and then a long stretch up to your sixth, and then from your fourth to your fifth, diagonally, up one on your fifth, from your fifth to the sixth, diagonally. That's it for that one. Now we're going to repeat the same step that we did over here onto this one. So on your eighth pin bar, long stretch up to your seventh, long stretch up to your eighth, or ninth, excuse me. Then working your three, so up at an angle, straight up at an angle. Alright, and then you want to go back to your long stretch color. Go, it gets on there. Going long stretch up to the seventh, long stretch up to the ninth, and then go back with your next color and just close that up. One, two, and then your third. Alright everybody, so now we're ready for our next step. You want to take your next color, which I'm going to be using the Sweets Green, and for that it's the neon green in this one, going around. Alright, so starting on that second pin bar, third peg up, you want to work at an angle to your left, up one, and then diagonally one. Okay, and repeat that same step on the other side. So out to the right, up one, and then diagonally. Alright, you want to repeat the same thing for the next two. Nothing changes on that. So diagonally up, and then diagonally again. You want to make sure you're pressing your bands down because there's going to be quite a few bands on each one of these pegs. Alright, and then do the same thing on your last one. Diagonally, up, diagonally, go back to the bottom, diagonally, up, and diagonally. Alright, and now we're ready for our next step. In this one, it is the orange, and I will be using the Fairy Pastel Blue, or the Sweet Blueberry, Baby Blue Fairy. Okay, anyway, you just want to place a simple starburst, working from your 2 o'clock to your 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8, 10, and 12. Okay, so just laying just a regular starburst. Okay, I'm going to do this whole process with you once or 2 more times, just so I know that you got it or you have enough so you can rewind until you catch on. It's fairly easy once you get the hang of it. Okay, guys. All right, so now we're ready for our next set or group of bands. Let me get reorganized. I got bands laying everywhere. Okay, so now starting from that same peg where you just finished that starburst off, you want to go from the second pin bar with a long stretch up to the first, and repeat that on the right side. Long stretch up. Now you want to go to your next color and do the W. So from your first pin bar across to your second, up your second pin bar, and then diagonally to your right. Now on all the ones with 5 gaps, you'll have to repeat this process twice. So again, long stretch up, long stretch opposite side, and then with your next color, create that W shape. All right, now we're working with our middle set of pegs. So you want to get 2 of your long stretch colors, start on top of the last starburst band that you placed, go diagonally up on a long stretch, diagonally up on a long stretch, then get 3 of your next color bands, diagonally in, up one, and then diagonally again. Okay, and then for the next one we're gonna go back to our long stretch color, long stretch up, long stretch up, and then get 3 of your W colors and just create that W form by going diagonally up and then diagonally again, or almost a W shape. All right, guys, so long stretch up because you're working on one of your 5 rows, and then with the next color, diagonally up and then diagonally. All right, so now we're ready for our green to create our starburst. Actually, I'm just going to put some on this side, that way I'm not having to keep on going off screen. All right, so starting with your second pin bar, just creating the shape, the honeycomb shape for your starburst. Working the left side all the way up to the top, and then going back and working your right side. Get on there, Bond. And again, I'm sorry if today's video is awkward. I'm not used to filming with 2 full loom boards, as I've said repeatedly, apparently. All right, so now we go back to our middle one, and again closing up that starburst shape. Again, pushing them down as you go, because there are a lot of bands on these. Okay, then you're on your next one, creating your starburst. And go back down to the bottom and finish that starburst up. All right, and then get your starburst color just create your starburst, working with your 2 o'clock position first, and then just working your way around. Come on, get off of there. Give it. All right. And then again, going back and creating that starburst. If the bands will stay on. Naughty, naughty bands. Alright, and then go into your next starburst and working all the way around. Like I said, it's fairly easy once you get the steps down. Repetitive. Alright, so now it's time for us to go back to our V color. So let me try to scooch it down. Okay, so starting on the last one that you laid, only need one. And up at a long stretch, and then up at a long stretch. Then you're going to take your half W color and finish that off. Just working around. Okay, and then again you want to take 2 of your long stretch colors, and from where you just laid that half W, just pull them up from that point. And I hope I'm not confusing you. This is kind of hard to explain, and I hope I'm doing a good job of it. So, but maybe just watching would be enough if I'm not explaining it entirely too well. Okay, so that's that one, because we've got the 2, and now we go back and finish the 1. So from the one that you just laid, the last starburst band, and a long stretch up, and take your next half W shape color and create that half W, or W, which I was referring to earlier. Like that. And that's it for that one. And now we go on to our next one. So you want to start on that last band that you placed for your starburst and just work up at a long stretch, and then take your V or W colors and just finish that. And then remember, you have a 5 pin, so you need to do it twice. So long stretch up, and then you're going to go back with your corresponding color and just go up straight and then down. Alright, now we're ready for our starburst colors, or not, excuse me, the edges of the starburst, so the green. So you start on that same peg that you just laid and work your starburst, remembering to work the left side first, then up at an angle, get on there. Okay, and you could do straight up one side, then up the middle, and then up the other side, whatever's easier on you. But it's easier on me for tutorial sake, just showing you how to place a pattern to do it the way that I'm doing it. Ooh, I skipped one, went all the way up there. All right. So just keep an eye on your pattern and make sure you're placing the right band at the right time. That would be the trickiest part of this whole bracelet. All right, and then finish up the last starburst or honeycomb lining. I need some more greens. Where they at? Okay. So hopefully it looks like that. And now we're ready for our starburst color. And again, just placing a simple starburst pattern all the way around. Right. And I have a question for you. Usually I use a poster board for the backdrop color, just because I think white might possibly show the bands better than the black. But in your opinion, which do you prefer, the black or the white backing? Because my desk is naturally black, so it would be easier if I did not have to use the poster board, but I'm willing to do whatever makes it easier for y'all to follow the tutorials. Okay, and then the last band going up. Alright, I think I've done enough where you should have the hang of it. I'm going to go off screen, finish this up, and then I'll be right back to place our capping bands, and then we'll be ready to loop. So I'll be right back in just a second. Alright everybody, I'm back. So hopefully your loom looks like this all the way in to the end of your loom. Alright, and so now it's time to place our capping bands, and we will be placing a capping band on the center of each starburst. Okay, and it's just going to be a triple looped cap band. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Do a few with you, and then I'll go off and finish that up. And then we'll come back and we'll be ready to loom. So again, just a triple cap, however you prefer to place them, whether you prefer to take your hook and then just wrap it around. So you have the three, and then pulling it and then placing it on your center peg, just whatever's easier for you. For me, it's easier just to take the band and loop it on there. Alright, so there's where I'm going to leave you. Just continue placing your capping bands to the end, and I'll be right back and we'll be ready to loom. Alright everybody, so hopefully your loom looks like this with your capping bands placed all the way to the end of the loom. And now it's time to turn it around, and we're going to start with our looping process. Okay, so what we want to do is go inside the starburst and loop each starburst first. So you go in, grab that top band, and instead of pulling back to the home peg, I'm going to work out to the right, looping each one over one. And usually when I do my starburst, since I've created my turtle shell, I do this because it creates a tighter starburst. Alright, so just working around, working each band over one peg. Okay, get on there. Now we can go ahead and loop up our honeycomb around our starburst. So go in to that second pin bar, second peg, and just loop everything back to its corresponding home post. Working your left side first, and then you're going to go back and work your right side. Oh, come on. Grab the one I need. There we go. Alright. So then go in. And just work your way around your honeycomb shape. Alright. Now what we want to do is go back into the top and grab that top diagonal band and pull it back to itself. And go back in, grab the band that's going straight forward and loop it back to itself. Go back in, grab that last band and loop it out to itself. Okay, then you want to go back into the first pin, fourth pin peg, grab that long stretch and take it up. Okay. And now what you, oops, sorry guys, what you want to do is go ahead and work that W / half W shape. Okay, so go in, grab that top band, pull it back to itself, go in, grab the one that's going straight forward, pull it back, and grab that one, and pull it back to itself. Now this does have a lot of tension on it, so if you'd like to just relieve some of that tension, that's fine. Then you're going to go back in, grab that long stretch band, and pull it back to itself. Go back down, grab that other long stretch, and pull it back to itself. And then we're going to stop right there on that one. And now we're going to do the same process on our next starburst. So we're going to go in, grab that top, I'm going to do it right-handed. So go in, grab that top band, loop it to the right. Next band to the right. Working to the right all the way around, just looping the band to the next corresponding post from where the home post is. Okay. And then you're going to go in, grab that top honeycomb, loop it back, working your way up the left to the top, going back, and then working the right side all the way up. Come on, grab it. There we go. Okay, so then you want to go into the center peg for that starburst and loop that half W back to itself, each peg. Then go down to the left, grab that long stretch, pull it back to its home post, grab the next one with the long stretch, pull it back. And now we're done with that one for now. So, going back in, grab that, and it just popped right off. Alright, just bear with me, let me get this cat band back on there, and then we'll loop this one. Okay, so go in, grab that top band, and pull to the right. And just in case you're wondering what bracelets I'm wearing, on my right is the Stitches bracelet by Deb's Things, and on my left is the cross stitch bracelet by Loomaniac, and the tutorial for the cross stitch is by Loomaniac on her channel, and the tutorial for stitches by Deb's Things is on her channel on YouTube as well. Alright, and so just continue working that same pattern. Oop, grab the wrong colors. Alright, you want to grab that that honeycomb and just work it back. Alright, so now we're going to work our half W again. So go in, grab that top one, pull it back to itself, grab the one going straight forward back to itself, next one back to itself. Take the long stretch back to its home peg, long stretch It's gotten taking that long stretch back to its home post. You want to go back in that same peg and grab the half W's again and pull them back to their corresponding home post. Again, keep in mind there is tension on these bands, so might want to go in and relieve some of that, and then we're going to go in and grab the long stretch and pull them forward. Okay, so basically you're going to repeat this process all the way up the loom, and I'll do 1 or 2 more rows across with you, and then I'm going to leave you off and finish that up off cam. Okay, so you want to go in, grab that top band, pull it to the right all the way around your starburst. And you want to go inside that peg and grab your honeycomb and pull them back. Okay. And I do hope that you're using good quality bands. I recommend Rainbow Loom bands. I've said before, they are the only bands that I use and will be the only bands that I use, because I've made bracelets with some of the other off brands, and literally, you know, like a month later they're falling apart and withering, and if you put all that work into a bracelet, you want to be able to keep it a while. All right, or any project really. All right, and then since you've got another step on your first one, you're going to go back in and grab that top band and pull it back to its home post. I'm just trying to relieve some of that tension. That one was really, really tight. Okay, and then again, working the long stretch up. Okay, so now we go back and we work our starburst on our next one, going down the middle, remembering to pull each one to the right. And again, I would love any feedback that y'all may have, comments, suggestions, so I can continue to get better. Today is just very awkward for me. I've never filmed with 2 full loom lengths, and I don't think I'll be doing this again because it's just too awkward. So just working your way around the starburst, closing that up, and going back in the same peg that you just placed that honeycomb on, and grabbing your half W's and pulling them back to pulling back to themselves, and going down and pulling your long stretches back to themselves. And I'm sorry if I'm playing with my bands, but I do have OCD. So, okay, and then working on your next starburst, because we just finished that pattern on that one. We're going to go in, grab it, and loop it to the right. It's basically the same process for all 3 of your starburst sections. The only difference is your first and your third section will have the extra half V and long stretch. So just keep that in mind. And now we're going to go back in and pull our honeycomb color. Loop those back to their home post. think this is going to be the last one that I work with you. If you're confused when we get done with this one, if you'll please just rewind and then catch back up with us when we're at our next step. This is the most complicated step in all of this bracelet. So if you've got this, you've got this bracelet. Alright guys, so just pulling that half V back to themselves. Going in, remembering to pull your long stretch band back up. And then again, because we've got two, we need to go back in and pull our half W's first. Now this one has more tension than that first one does. Alright, and then your long stretch up. Alright guys, so this is where I'm going to leave you. I hope I've done enough where if you're confused that you can rewind. But I'm going to meet you at the end of the loom, and so I'll be right back when we're ready to move on to our next step. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so hopefully your loom looks like this all the way to the end of the loom, all the way down there. And now we're ready for our next looming step. Get back on screen. It's going to be the X's at the connecting points of each starburst. So every 5, every 4, and every 5. And what you want to do is go in, grab that top. Oh, wrong position. Hold on, guys. Don't grab anything. Go to the side. Grab that band and pull it up to the center first. Okay. Same thing on the opposite side. Going in, grabbing that band, and then just looping it to the center. If it will get on and stay on there. There we go. Now go into that same peg that you just looped them to and pull the whites or your corresponding band back to their home post. And you might have to relieve the tension on there, or would like to, and that's fine. So you want to do the same thing with each X. You go in on the outside and grab that band, pull it back to itself, pull on the outside edge, pulling that other one back to itself, and then you're going to go in and pull the, that's the wrong one, put back in there, and grab the whites and pull them back to their corresponding home post. Okay, so again, from the outside, working in, outside in, and then you go in, grab that top band, pull it back to its home post, pull the next one back to its home post. It should always be left and right, then right. All right, I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to go off and finish that up. So from the outside, working in, outside, working in, and then go into that same peg you were just laying on and grab that top band. It's kind of hard to see because of the filming and everything. I hope you bear with me. And then just pull the whites or your corresponding color back to their post. Okay, I'm going to go off screen, finish that up, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and your loom should look like that. Just completing those X's all the way to the end. And now we're ready for our next step. Now, you don't necessarily need a capping band right here. I like to go ahead and put one there, just so I know I'm not putting too much tension on that starburst band. So a triple cap band, and then you go in and you pull it over to the left. Go ahead and pull that one to the right. All right, and now we're going to work with our X band that's underneath, simply pulling it back to its home post. All right, and then we're going to go in and pull my next perimeter band over, and then go in and grab that X band and taking it up. And we'll go ahead and work the rest of the perimeter out to the edge. So when I get done with my X's, all I have to do is the straight line up. Same thing, mirror image, go in, grab that bottom band, take it back to its home peg, go in, grab that bottom band, take that perimeter over, go in, grab that X band, pulling it up, and then go back and work the perimeter out to the edge. Okay, and then there's where we're going to stop with the perimeter. Popping up. Okay, with our X's, we're always going to work our band that's underneath first. So working from the 4th pin bar over to the 3rd, and then back to the 3rd over to the 4th. Just completing those X's all the way up the loom. Fairly easy peasy step. Do 4 on that side with you, and I'll jump over and do 4 on the other side, and I'm going to go off, finish it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, grabbing the underneath band first, so that's going to be your 6th pin bar, pulling up to your 7th, pulling up to your 6th. Okay, and just continue that pattern all the way up the loom. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you right here. I think that's a fairly easy step. I hope you were, I was on screen the whole time. I was looking outside of the camera. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you here, finish this up, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, so hopefully your loom looks like this all the way to the end, completing the X's up both sides. Alright, so now another easy peasy step. Just going to be working the perimeter up. So you go in, grab the perimeter, just go straight up with it. I'm going to do a few on each side, then I'm going to go off, come back, show you how to close up, and then it's time to take it off. Alright, so just go in, and pull them up. And if you're going to, if you want to know how to go ahead and close all the way up, you just follow it all the way to the center, working the left side first, come on, and then go back in and work the right side. So then, all right, so just work your way up both sides, and I'll be back to show you how to close for those who are not sure. Be right back. All right, everybody, and I've made it to the top of my loom, and so now we're ready to close it up. You simply want to start on that top corner, work your way to the left, and then work your way down, then across, and then up. Well, I can grab the right bond. Alright, do the mirror image on the opposite side. Go in, pull it up, and pull down. Go in, pull it to the side. Go in. Oh, I got 2. I don't think that's the right one either. That's 2 again. Gravy me. There we go. Alright, so just closing that up to the top. There we go. And then you want to grab those 2 bands that you dropped earlier, if you dropped them. If not, just go ahead and close up your bracelet how you usually would. Alright, gotta grab my C-clip out of my packet. You'll hear the crumpling. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, just give it a little tug. Attach your C-clip. Alright, guys, so I'm going to go off screen now, and I'll be back in just a second with the finished bracelet. Be right back. Alright, everybody, so I've gotten it off the loom, and hopefully your bracelet looks something like this. And again, this is called the Peafowl bracelet. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Please make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did like it. If you're not following me on Instagram, please go ahead and give me a follow. That is my profile right there. And there's the Peafowl that you just made. Okay. And if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, please hit the little button below. And that'll be it for today. Thank you so very much. And please remember, if you have any comments or suggestions, please just comment below. I'll see them, and I'll do my very best to keep improving after each tutorial that I do. And again, I don't think I'm going to mess with a big hoss anytime soon when I'm trying to film. Alright guys, see you later. Keep looming. Bye.